Hey guys, Chris here. Right behind me, we have the brand new 2018 Volvo XC40, Volvo's brand new subcompact luxury SUV. This is a Momentum trim with the D4 diesel engine and all-wheel drive. In today's video, we're gonna go through the best and worst things about this car. So just before we start off the list, guys, just remember this car isn't perfect. It's a brilliant car. This car isn't perfect. No car is perfect, and these are only my opinions, so don't take them too seriously. If you disagree, you disagree. Let me know in the comments down below. But don't go bashing the dislike button because you think I'm an idiot. I'm only highlighting what I think, in my opinion, are the best and worst things. So let's start off with one of the best things, and that is this Volvo gets the big boy tech. So you get the Sensus infotainment screen here, the same 9.3 inch or 9.1 inch as you get in the XC90, as you get in the XC60, and it's completely the same screen with the large maps and all the apps that you could ever dream of. And this car also has a lot of safety tech, the same safety tech you get in the big Volvo. So you get lane keep assist, you get rear cross traffic alert, you get blind spot monitoring, you even get you can also even fold down the rear headrests, you get pilot assist, semi-autonomous driving, you get the same 12.3 inch digital gauge cluster there in the middle as you get in the big Volvos. This car also has IntelliSafe up here, which also gives you automatic emergency braking. It gives you large animal detection. It gives you pedestrian and cycling detection, and the list goes on and on and on. One of the first things I noticed right away with this car was the ride comfort, and that is most definitely might just be the single best thing about this car, because this car rides so damn well. And remember, this car is equipped with 19-inch wheels. Yes, they are winter tires. Yes, you do have some rubber, but there are still 19-inch wheels on a subcompact luxury SUV. And the ride is just brilliant. You can probably go up to the 20s and still have a very comfortable ride, but at least with the 19s, the ride is so supple, is so comfortable. The damping is just done so well, and you can really tell that Volvo have been making cars for a while now, that they have been honing and refining their new products, because I think this car rides even better than the XC60 I last drove on air suspension. I might be my memory of the whole thing might be a bit confused, but this car has ordinary steel springs, oil dampers, no suspension trickery here, no air suspension, no adaptive dampers, and this thing just glides over bumps. It's really impressive. On a standard suspension setup, this might be the best riding car I've ever driven, period. Volvo are renowned for seat comfort. They make one of the best, if not the best, car seat in the business. Almost all the motor journalists are unified in this in the whole world. Just go out there, watch all the reviews on YouTube, read all the written publications. Volvo seats are amazing, and these seats are no exception. This is a brand new seat design from Volvo for their compact cars, and this doesn't disappoint. I've currently driven this car 1,400 kilometers, almost 1,000 miles in a week, and the seat comfort is just brilliant. It's definitely one of the best things about this car. Over to the first negative, and sitting here with the engine switched off, it's naturally very quiet. But hit that start button, and I don't know if the camera is picking up everything, but Volvo diesel engines, 2-liter diesel engines, 4-cylinder diesel engines from Volvo aren't the most refined on the market. Or put it this way, they are quite refined, but Volvo aren't the best at sound engine insulation. And the engine is now warm because I've actually been driving this car for half an hour. So if this was a cold start, and it is, 14 degrees outside. If this was a cold start with lower temperatures, it would be very, very noisy. And Audi do sound insulation much better. Mercedes-Benz do sound insulation better. BMW aren't much better, at least in this class. But if you go for a gas engine, you don't have that problem at all. Even in my XC90, I complained about it being noisy, and revving it out, it's not very quiet. I would much more prefer a gas engine, and I would go for a gas engine if it was me buying this car. So Volvo diesels, a big no-no. But that brings me to my next point. This is a D4 diesel, which is the only diesel engine currently available, 190 horsepower. And as I said, I would much more go for a gas engine, but the only gas engine currently available is the T5 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, very smooth engine. I've tested that engine in countless Volvos, and you know, I talk highly about that engine. Quiet, refined, powerful, and smooth. But that's the only gas engine available in this car, meaning that currently this car is still very pricey. In some markets, probably the T5 is priced quite nicely and might not be very many steps from the lower engine trim, but here in many European countries, especially in Norway, we do expect to get a T4 and a T3, and might even get a T2 gas engine with 120 horsepower. So currently, this car is quite pricey with the engine choices that are available. The next thing I love about this car is the exterior styling. Volvo have really hit this out of the ballpark. You know, the XC90 is probably one of the best looking SUVs on the market today, as well as the XC60. But this is also one of the best looking SUVs on the market today, but just a different variation on Volvo's brand new design language. More modern, more daring, more useful, you know, just a bit more edgy. I love the clamshell hood design, the, you know, new take on Thorsheimer LEDs up front, and also the new take on Volvo traditional taillights, and just the way, you know, Volvo is written on the rear boot lid, and they moved the plate down to the bumper. I just love the silhouette of this car, because though being a subcompact luxury SUV, it still has that distinctive SUV look. Continuing, you know, the positive things about this car, interior storage is exceptional. Look at these large door bins. They partially done that, or managed to do that, because they don't have any bass speakers here on the doors, because you now have a new stereo design where you have the subwoofer inside of the dashboard. Here we have, you know, a small can of Pepsi, and I've complained about Volvo cup holders before, but these are just perfect. No problems with them at all. You have one that's deeper, you have one that's a bit more shallow, so perfect. Really nice cup holders. You have a large compartment here. You know, see my hand is, you know, almost disappearing in there. You have a wireless charging pad there, and then you have also a large and very deep, you know, center storage here beneath the armrest. A very nice and softly padded armrest. It's even more softly padded than what you get in the 60 series and 90 series cars. And then you have here a trash bin, a cool concept that you can also easily take out, and if you want to empty it. And then you have this small storage here also for stuff. And then you have a large glove box there. So interior storage and interior space in this car is very practical, and I'm really impressed by it. If you want to see how impressive, you know, the cargo capacity of this car is, please check out my first impressions video up there in the right corner, where I, you know, transport a display stand for a bookshelf. I don't have many complaints about this car. There aren't, you know, something that's really a worst. If you saw my best and worst of, or the worst things about the Volvo V40 I tested earlier this year, those things were deal breakers. And this car, you know, there are more issues, but you could totally live with them. But one of the things that annoys me the most is the throttle tip-in response. So standing here at the junction, and there, takes about half a second, 3/4 of a second before you get the response from the gas pedal that you initially want. It's not as bad as something like a dual clutch from something like Audi or Volkswagen, but you can combat those transmissions by really, pressing the throttle right away, and then you get full power. It's only when you want something like a partial throttle smooth takeaway in a dual clutch transmission from Volkswagen Group that you don't get the response that you want. But here it doesn't matter if you go partial throttle, light throttle, or hard throttle, you get the same response, and that hasn't been the issue in any other Volvos I've driven with this transmission and this engine. The last worst thing about this car is the steering lightness, and here on some twisty, back roads, the car is perfectly fine to drive. The soft suspension doesn't translate into a lot of body roll. Actually, it corners quite flatly, and it's very good composure for having such a comfortable and softly sprung suspension. But the steering is too light, even in the heaviest setting. This is now in the mid setting. Look how light that is. So again, my XC90 has much heavier steering than this, even on the lightest setting, and even with smaller wheels. Yes, my XC90 has 275mm wide tires. This has 235mm wide tires. But our Audi A4, which has 245mm wide tires, just marginally wider than this, has much heavier steering. And the light steering is really nice around town, but here on these roads, I feel like I don't have as much control of the car that I would do with heavier steering. Lastly, guys, my favorite thing, one of the best things about this new Volvo XC60 is this large panoramic glass sunroof. It is just massive. Look how big that expansive glass is, but also how largely it opens. So there you have it open there, but you can also even open up it even more, and this opens even larger than what you get in the 90 or 60 series cars. Just really impressive, and makes this feel almost like a Targa, this subcompact luxury SUV. So there we have it, guys, the best and worst things about the brand new 2018 Volvo XC40 D4 Momentum trim. And this is a brilliant car. I've had it for a little more than a week now, and I really do like it. And my next video will be the full review, talking a bit more serious about how this car is to live with, how this car, is to drive. So hope you enjoyed today's video. Not too serious, only my personal opinions. You might totally disagree with me. So let me know in the comments down below if you like this video. And if you like this video, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.